Hello, I'm Emmett Murphy, and welcome to this introduction to Mastering the Job Interview. The questions, presentation, resume, and search, all those elements that go into a great interview. We're pleased to bring this series to you at a time of special need. We know that the interview is the make or break point in every career, the moment when all you've planned and hoped for comes to a head. Yet the interview is the most inadequately addressed element in the whole job search process. Our 2010 National Job Search Survey, which we conducted with colleagues at the U.S. Labor Department, makes this point. It brought it home. 2,347 job seekers were surveyed, and of these, 87% ranked the interview as their top concern. At the same time, 82% ranked their interviewing skills last in terms of preparation, confidence, and downright skill. At a time when we have the technical ability to make contact with people at any time and in any place, the ability to personally address the questions on an interviewer's mind remains the single most important means of getting our individual message across, of getting a job. That's why we've taken the results of this latest national research, combined them with our own 40-year history of conducting many thousands of job interviews, to provide you with a professional development series that gives you exactly the skills you need to succeed right now. Thankfully, we're already seeing the successful results of the series and the wonderful success of job seekers across the country. Let me share with you what we've designed into the series and how you can use it to get things going for yourself. First, and most importantly, we've designed the series to be very efficient. We've included what you must know, but we've eliminated a lot of stuff that just gets in the way. So please also make sure that you read through the written material. It provides a very useful guide to the whole series, and it provides some of the details I'm just not going to be able to get to in this brief introduction. So let's take a look. The first step in this whole process of mastering the interview is a self-assessment. I want you to make sure you go and take the self-assessment, relax, and get an idea of where you stand. Because during the course of the course itself, which is very efficient and compact, but nevertheless intense, during the course of the course, I want you to focus on improving and strengthening the things you're already good at. We always do better by building off what we're good at and strengthening those things as a first step. The second thing is then not identify flat out where you need to improve, because you'll have the opportunity in these modules to make very quick progress in very concrete ways. Then jump in. The first thing you want to do is to look at the pre-interview preparation video. It deals with, most profoundly, the questions. An interview is all about questions. One of the things our research uncovered is that somehow or other, for all the information that's out there, folks are not telling you about the 4 underlying core questions that every interviewer has to have an answer for if they're going to hire you or do a good job of hiring you. After all, interviewers have a job to do too. They want to keep their job, and they must address 4 underlying powerful issues. We're going to discuss those issues. We're going to develop scripts for those issues, for those questions, and then we're going to take those 4 questions, the content we developed, and we're then going to apply them to all the variations. I mean, there are many ways to ask you questions. What did you think of your boss? What were the best things? What were the worst things in your career? What was this? What was that? Well, as you answer all of those questions, you're going to be grounded by the information that goes into the 4 core questions. No matter what the specific type of question, the variations you receive, ultimately they're going to come back to require information on 4 fundamental pillars of competence. And you can speak to those very effectively once you know what they are. In this pre-interview preparation module, we're also going to deal with the question of personal demeanor and getting physical and emotional control. I'll give you a little tip. It's about smiling a lot, and learning how to relax. We're going to put that all into this pre-interview preparation module. It's an intense one, and maybe the most important in the whole series. The second video module here that I'd like you to watch then is delivering a masterful interview. Now this is game day ready stuff. This is what you go through the day of the interview. We're already prepared, now let's get ready. There's not going to be any waste in any of these modules. Nothing that you need to throw away. I want you to focus in on the content that's there and really master it. In this second module, in this second video, we're going to walk through the 10-step checklist for game day interview readiness. It's a very important checklist, and when you actually do go through an interview, I'm going to suggest that you go through that 10-step process again. We're going to walk through it, look at the issues, we're going to provide answers and ideas so that you have mastery of those 10 steps, which make it possible for you to walk right into that interview and to take emotional control. You must be in control. In fact, your interviewer will respond much better to you if you evidence the competency in taking control of the interview in a very subtle and nice way. Remember, this is really a job audition, because how you conduct yourself in the interview indicates a great deal how you will conduct yourself on the job. We tried to put what you really need about that interview into these two modules. Initially, this was 10 different modules, and we said that's just impractical. What should go? And we've just put a lot of stuff out. We want to make something that is useful to you, gets right to the point, but they're intense. And watch them again and again if you need to, and also go to your source book, which I'll speak to later. Now you're ready to go to video module, the next video module 3, the resume, networking, and job offer. How do you prepare a resume that's driven by the interview? So often these resumes are written out of context. We write them without thinking in terms of who we're really going to be talking to. This is, in our way of thinking, backwards. The first thing you have to do is know how to talk to the people you must convince to hire you. So we've walked through the interview, how to prepare for it. In the process, we're going to identify who that interviewer is likely to be. We're going to understand a great deal about that person and the many variations, the many different interviewers you might meet with, all of whom have a certain basic interest and have a certain basic objective. Well, we've dealt with that in the first two modules. Now we're ready to put together very quickly, in very clean fashion, a really effective resume, one that is interview driven. We're also ready now to network. Now, during the course of the first two video modules, I will have gotten you into a practice modality to practicing your interview, how to do it, how to reach out to others, so that you're beginning the process of networking even as you're practicing your interview. Now, that very first effort we're going to examine in terms of the basics of networking and how you build connections on 3 different levels to the point that you're generating over 100 important connections and you're really getting the networking going. Over 65% of all jobs result from this basic type of networking and the preparation that leads to a really effective interview. We're going to show you how to do that, because this is a very powerful, simple technique that people are not using. Maybe everyone's scared. Everyone's scared to reach out. I also think it has a lot to do with the fact we lost a lot of confidence in our personal skills. Well, you're going to be in a position to overcome that in this module, and we're going to walk you through how to do it, and then most importantly, how to close the deal, because you're going to get an offer, and you're going to need to know whether to take the offer, whether to think it over, or whether to turn it down. And we're going to walk you through how you deal with that, the actual scripts for closing the deal. And making sure, by the way, if you don't take the offer, that you've made a friend, somebody who can help you later in your career if you need it. Now we're going to move to a very critical part of this whole product. After you've gone through these modules, we then want you to join us on Career Coaching live webinars. These are discussion forums where we're going to deal with your personal questions, ideas, etc. You might think of this as a consulting forum. I don't want you to think we're just there to preach and so forth, but we do want you to have answers. We don't want you to feel like you're alone. There's no need for you to be alone. This is all about connecting and all about doing something substantial with our lives. For you, making sure that you're employed in a way that benefits you and your family and our society. For us, we get satisfaction from helping you and making that part of our life's work. So it's vital that you participate in these webinars. And of course, we also want to go through a post-assessment, an interviewing skills course assessment, where you look again at where you stand after you've gone through this course. Have I mastered the skills I need? Am I ready? And if not, you can return to specific sections of the course. All the way through this, there is an undergirding support, and that comes from our course source book, where I've included these scripts, the various things we're using, the checklist, etc., and also some articles from some of the books I've written that I think will help you along the way. One in particular I think is going to be instructive in terms of helping you to see how the interview should be conducted from an employer's perspective. These are people we teach all the time. We're noted to train professional interviewers as well as conduct key interviews ourselves. And so I thought you would benefit from actually knowing what your interviewers should be doing, so that you can understand why we've recommended what we've recommended here. Everything here is research-based. I think the days of just tossing out personal opinion are over. The stakes are too high. You must have data. You must be able to prove your point. We've taken great pains to make sure this works for you. So now we're ready to start. So when you're done watching this introduction, jump right in, take your pre-course assessment, and join me then in Module 1.